Have you ever loved someone so deeply that you began to build your future around them? Not just dates, not just memories, but an entire world, a home, a vision, a version of yourself. And then one day, something changes. Not violently, not dramatically, but quietly. The warmth disappears. The messages become shorter. The eyes that once looked at you with admiration now look through you. And you ask yourself, how did we get here? How did something that felt so solid become so fragile? How can someone who once said they loved me now seem like a stranger? For many men, this is one of the most painful experiences of modern love. Not simply because the relationship ends, but because the man cannot understand how her inner world changed so quickly. To him, love was a promise. To her, perhaps, love was a living context. And when the context changed, so did the feeling. Welcome to My 2 Cents. I'm Field. This is the channel where I explore the ideas shaping our world and our lives, from philosophy, psychology, politics, and geopolitics to artificial intelligence, technology, culture, self-improvement, and modern relationships. And today, we're going deep. We're going to talk about Jacques Lacan, desire, the feminine, relational morality, hypergamy, and what men must understand if they want to navigate love without losing themselves. This is not a video about blaming women. It is not a video about bitterness. And it is not an attempt to reduce every woman to a stereotype. It is an attempt to understand a difficult truth. Men and women may use the same words, love, loyalty, commitment, betrayal, while experiencing them through very different psychological worlds. So let's get into it. The first mistake many men make in relationships is assuming that women experience love the same way men do. We assume that because we are using the same words, we must be speaking the same emotional language. I love you. I'm loyal. I'm committed. I would never leave. But Lacan would warn us against this assumption. For Lacan, human beings do not live directly inside reality. We live inside language, symbols, stories, meanings. We do not simply love another person. We love what they represent. We love who we become in relation to them. We love the story they allow us to tell about ourselves. This is why two people can be in the same relationship and experience it completely differently. The man may say, I was loyal. I was building a future. I never betrayed you. And the woman may say, I felt unseen. I felt disconnected. I felt the relationship had already ended. Same relationship. Two symbolic worlds. Two interpretations. Two truths. Lacan argued that masculine subjectivity tends to organize itself around what he called the phallic function. Now, this does not simply mean male biology. In Lacanian theory, the phallus is symbolic. It represents structure, law, order, authority, hierarchy. The masculine world seeks clarity. It wants to know the rules. It wants promises to mean tomorrow what they meant yesterday. It wants loyalty to remain loyalty even when feelings fluctuate. This is why men often build identity through mission, duty, achievement, honor, and commitment. A man does not simply say, I am in a relationship. Deep inside, he often says, I am her man. I am the protector. I am the builder. I am the one who stayed. So when the relationship breaks, he does not merely lose a partner. He loses a role. He loses a structure. He loses a future. He loses the version of himself that existed inside her eyes. That is why betrayal can be so devastating for men. The pain is not merely romantic. It is existential. It touches the question beneath everything. Who am I now? Now we come to one of Lacan's most famous and controversial statements. The woman does not exist. At first, it sounds absurd, even offensive. But Lacan was not saying that women do not exist as people. He was saying that there is no single universal formula for womanhood, no complete definition, no final category, no symbolic structure that fully captures what woman is. In Lacan's language, femininity is not all contained by law, not all captured by rules, not all reducible to fixed identity. The feminine position is partly within the symbolic order, but also partly beyond it. This is why Lacan associated femininity with a kind of excess, a form of enjoyment, a depth of experience, a jouissance that cannot be completely measured, controlled, or explained. If masculinity often seeks stability through structure, femininity often moves through relation, through emotion, through atmosphere, through the living texture of connection, where a man may ask, "What did we promise?" A woman may ask, "What does this still mean?" Where a man may say, "We built a life." A woman may say, "But I no longer feel alive inside it." And that difference matters, because if a man does not understand it, he will keep trying to win the argument at the level of facts, while losing the relationship at the level of meaning. One of Lacan's most important ideas is this: desire is the desire of the other. In simple terms, we do not desire in isolation. We learn what to desire through other people, through society, through recognition, through the gaze of those around us. We want to be wanted. We want to be chosen. We want to become meaningful in the eyes of another. A man may not simply desire a woman because of what he objectively is. She may desire what he awakens in her, the version of herself she becomes around him, the emotional world he creates, the social meaning attached to being with him, the way he is seen by others, the way he sees himself. This is why confidence matters. Not fake confidence, not arrogance, not performance, but deep internal authority. Because desire is contagious. A man who believes in his own life creates gravity. A man who begs to be loved creates pressure. And pressure kills desire. Many men try to secure love by becoming more available, more agreeable, more accommodating. But often, this has the opposite effect. Because feminine desire is rarely sustained by neediness. It is sustained by polarity, admiration, tension, mystery, the sense that the man has a world of his own. A man without a center becomes emotionally dependent on the woman's gaze. And once he depends on her gaze to know who he is, he becomes vulnerable to collapse when that gaze turns away. Now let's bring in hypergamy. Online, hypergamy is often discussed crudely. It gets reduced to slogans. Women want richer men. Women always trade up. Women are never satisfied. But that is too simplistic. A more serious interpretation is this: hypergamy is the tendency to evaluate relational context, security, competence, ambition, status, emotional strength. In evolutionary terms, this makes sense. For most of human history, female survival, and the survival of children, depended heavily on choosing a capable partner. A weak choice could have catastrophic consequences. So it is not surprising that women developed sensitivity to male competence, protection, stability, and trajectory. But in the modern world, this does not only mean money. It can mean emotional stability, social intelligence, leadership, vision, masculine composure. From a Lacanian perspective, hypergamy is not only biological, it is symbolic. A woman may be drawn to the man who represents the stronger story, the more alive future, the more compelling identity, the more powerful context. And this is the uncomfortable truth. You are not only being evaluated as a person, you are being evaluated as a world, a direction, a future, a psychological environment. If that environment becomes stagnant, resentful, chaotic, or weak, desire can begin to die. Not always loudly, often quietly. And by the time a man notices, the emotional decision may already have been made. When a woman's feelings change, men often experience it as moral contradiction. He says, "How can you say you loved me and now act like this? How can everything we built suddenly mean nothing? How can you move on so quickly?" These are painful questions. But Lacan would suggest that the man is assuming love must obey consistency. The masculine mind often believes that if something was true before, it should remain true unless some formal law is broken. But feminine relationality may experience truth differently. Something can have been true then, and no longer be true now. The woman may not experience this as hypocrisy. She may experience it as emotional honesty. This is where men suffer. Because men often believe loyalty should survive changes in feeling, whereas many women may experience loyalty as naturally weakening once the emotional reality of the bond has changed. For the man, loyalty is the principle that holds when emotion fluctuates. For the woman, loyalty may be the expression of a living emotional bond. When the bond dies, the loyalty may feel dead too. That difference can destroy men who are not prepared for it. So what should a man do with this knowledge? First, he must stop projecting himself onto women. Do not assume that because you experience loyalty in one way, she experiences it the same way. Do not assume that because history matters deeply to you, it carries the same emotional weight for her. Do not assume that commitment alone sustains desire. A woman can appreciate your loyalty and still lose attraction. She can respect your sacrifice and still feel disconnected. She can remember the past and still choose a different future. That is painful. But seeing it clearly is better than living inside fantasy. The second thing a man must understand is that love is not ownership. A woman is not possessed because she once chose you. She is not frozen in the emotional state she had at the beginning. Desire must be continually renewed, not through desperation, not through manipulation, but through presence, leadership, growth, attention, purpose. A man must remain alive to himself if he wants to remain alive in the imagination of another. Adaptation does not mean becoming paranoid. It does not mean policing women. It does not mean emotional coldness. It means becoming more conscious. A conscious man does three things. First, he builds an internal center. His mission cannot depend on her mood. His self-worth cannot depend on her approval. His identity cannot collapse because someone leaves. He must have work, purpose, discipline, friendships, and values that exist beyond romance. Continues from previous. Second, he observes reality. When intimacy fades, he does not deny it. When respect declines, he does not rationalize it. When communication becomes evasive, he does not hide from it. He remains awake. A man who cannot bear to see the truth becomes a prisoner of illusion. Third, he maintains boundaries. Not angry boundaries, not controlling boundaries, calm boundaries. I will not stay in a relationship without respect. I will not reward dishonesty. I will not abandon myself to keep someone else. Boundaries are not threats. They are the visible shape of self-respect. And without self-respect, love becomes dependency. Now we must talk about protection. Because modern relationships do not only involve emotion, they involve property, law, children, business, reputation, time. A man should never enter serious commitment without understanding the legal and financial structure surrounding it. Marriage is not only a romantic ritual, it is also a legal contract. Cohabitation can create obligations. Shared assets can become contested. Businesses can be exposed. Future earnings can become part of negotiations. This does not mean a man should never marry. It means he should marry consciously, with legal advice, with clarity, with documentation, with sober understanding. The same applies emotionally. Do not overinvest before trust has been proven. Do not give husband-level commitment to someone who has not demonstrated wife-level loyalty. Do not build your life around potential. Observe patterns. Consistency over time is the only reliable evidence. Anyone can be wonderful for 3 months. Character reveals itself across seasons. To be mindful of female nature is not to fear it. It is to respect its difference. The feminine is powerful because it is responsive. It senses, shifts. It notices weakness. It feels atmosphere. It can bring beauty, warmth, intuition, and emotional intelligence into a man's life. But that same responsiveness can also make it changeable. A man who understands this does not become bitter. He becomes steadier. He does not demand that the sea become stone. He learns how to sail. He studies the weather. He builds a stronger vessel. And he remembers that no relationship can replace the need for his own internal discipline. The mature man does not ask, "How do I control her?" He asks, "How do I govern myself?" That is the real masculine question. Because the man who governs himself is not easily destroyed by the choices of others. Lacan's work ultimately points us toward a difficult truth. Human beings are divided. We do not fully understand ourselves. We desire things we cannot name. We ask others to complete us, then resent them when they fail. Men look to women for confirmation of their worth. Women look to men for worlds worthy of desire. Both are searching. Both are lacking. Both are trying to solve through love what can only partly be solved within the self. So perhaps the lesson is not that men must distrust women. Perhaps the lesson is that men must stop abandoning themselves in the hope of being completed by women. Love is beautiful, but love cannot be your foundation. Your foundation must be deeper. Purpose, discipline, brotherhood, faith, work, health, wisdom. A woman can join your life. She can enrich it. She can inspire it. But she must not become the axis on which your entire being turns. Because if she leaves, and she was your center, then your world leaves with her. So what can men learn from Lacan? They can learn that desire is not simple, that love is not always governed by fairness, that men and women may experience loyalty through different symbolic systems, that feminine desire is often relational, contextual, and deeply tied to meaning, that hypergamy is not merely about money, but about the total environment a man represents, and most importantly, that a man's first responsibility is to become whole within himself. Not cold, not bitter, not detached from love, but grounded. A man should love deeply, but he should not love blindly. He should commit seriously, but not unconsciously. He should protect his heart, protect his finances, protect his purpose, and above all, protect his relationship with himself. Because in the end, you cannot control another person's desire. You cannot force loyalty. You cannot negotiate attraction back into existence. But you can control your perception. You can control your preparation. You can control your posture toward life. And that is where masculine freedom begins. Not in controlling women, but in mastering yourself. So here is my 2 cents. Do not expect permanence from what is naturally fluid. Do not build your identity on another person's emotion. Become the kind of man whose life has gravity. The kind of man who loves without begging, gives without losing himself, commits without becoming blind. And if she stays, let it be because the world you are building is alive. And if she leaves, let it not be the end of you. Because the man who has himself has not lost everything. If this gave you something to think about, leave your own 2 cents in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into psychology, philosophy, relationships, technology, politics, and the ideas shaping our lives, subscribe to My 2 Cents. Until next time, think clearly, live deliberately, and stay grounded.